This is my baby. It's a very nice camera. It's a very small camera. It's a very mirrorless camera. What else can I say very about? It's a very...
bad way to start this video.
We're gonna have to probably be quite quick because it's starting to rain. Right, cool. So, this is the Olympus OMD E-M10 Mark III.
So Olympus do the EM1s, the EM5s, and then the EM10s. And then they did the EM1 and EM5 Mark 1s, Mark 2s. I don't know how it went, but basically this is the lowest one. But this is the first one to have a Mark III. It's raining. Sorry about the audio quality, the mic is all the way over there. It probably sounds like absolute shit.
Whenever I think about how bad the audio quality is, I always think of that time we were up at Orkham Point and it was so windy and we were literally shouting to talk to each other. Then we listened to it on the camera and we're literally shouting. It's cold!
It's a bit windy! This is a beautiful angle.
I can't see.
Rain, starting to rain. Open it's rain. Ah, right my eye.
So let's talk about...
Yeah, let's quickly before I get dabbed in the eye again.
Here is my camera. It is very small. Like, where'd the camera go? It's gone. Hey babe, look, the camera's gone. Look.
What camera? What is your hand?
What camera?
Green.
Camera. I don't know how to speak. I'll move that and this. Let's all be professional and not get your phone wet because it's got a crack in it.
You said be professional.
It has a very retro style build, which there wouldn't be B-roll placed above whatever I'm saying.
Above.
Over.
Right
Shut
there.
up.
You can see the little slip of it there.
It has the leather and silver
Stuff.
leather and silver stuff.
Style.
That's probably a better word.
Aesthetic.
It comes in two colours. It either comes in all black, so all of the silver stuff is black, because logic. Or it comes in this one, which I chose because it's retro. I thought it looked nicer, to be honest. It's going to be really loud, isn't it?
Plane, go away!
Right, so, back to what I was saying. I chose this because it's
Reminiscent
yeah.
of the old Olympus styles in their first...
We'll like place a couple of photos of the old Olympus cameras in. They all look like this stuff. The rain's dry. It looks like this, like the silver and black like design.
Leather. I'm not actually sure if it's real leather or not.
I don't think it is real leather. If it is, I will return it.
It's probably why it costs so much.
Oh, there's also like a little strip of leather right here as well, which is a thumb grip because of how small it is. It's a centerpiece. When buying the camera, you get the camera, because you're buying a camera. You also get this. It's Vukio 14 to 42 millimeter.
I'm not talking much because I'm just letting her do it.
f3.5 to 5.6 digital zoom lens, which does this when you turn it on. Wait, I'll try it to the side so you can see. Ready?
It's like, oh, there's water in your lens. It even does this when it zooms, like it changes. It's like we're back in 2004. Genuinely, I used to have.
I'd never seen that before until this lens.
Which is funny because, like, you normally. What is it with planes? Shoot the thing down.
Poo, you're dead. It's just a Q, not poo.
Poo. Then you die. Under the actual.
Don't get it wet.
You find the tiny ass. I'm not entirely sure how big it is, but it's the Micro Four Thirds sensor on a Micro Four Thirds mount. Because whoever came up with the naming scheme fell asleep and just put in the same name. But for a camera so brand new, it's got a fairly outdated sensor. And even though it is Micro Four Thirds, a lot of cameras are nowadays, but it's 16 megapixel.
It came out 2 years ago as well, which is quite recent.
2017, 2016.
17.
2017? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, even for a new camera, or even for a 2-year-old camera, a 16 megapixel sensor is still pretty outdated.
What's yours?
18.
And yours is?
Canon 650D came out in like 2012.
So your camera is 17 years old.
DSLR.
17? 7? I'm gonna fail, man. This camera that we're recording on now is 7 years old and has a better camera.
Sensor.
I can speak.
The camera has a better camera.
It has a better sensor than my 2-year-old camera.
Also, a thing about the Micro Four Thirds sensor is the fact that it's got a ×2 crop factor. So essentially, the what's that?
Times 2. How dare you drop on my head?
So essentially a 14 to 42 millimeter is 28 to 82, which is not as cropped out or as wide as 14 mil actually sounds. My 18 mil that I'm filming on is technically more because APS-C is 1 times 1.6,
Yeah.
and I cannot be bothered to do that.
Yeah, me
That
neither.
just dropped right on your camera.
The crop factor can kind of come in useful because I have another lens which is 40 to 150, which is technically 80 to 300. So, you know, it's 300 mil, which is quite zoomed in, and
That's you.
it's you.
Is that me?
It says Dan.
Oh yeah. Hello.
Right.
This was not a good idea. Go away, tree. This is really going to annoy me. Yeah, we changed because it rained, because it's England and the weather sucks.
So, on the camera you have many buttons. Here is the dial where you can select your modes. And then we also have auto mode, which is great for beginners. I've only just recently started shooting in auto mode, but we don't talk about that. On auto mode, it's also included in the little starting again. On auto mode, there's also a sidebar which has some boxes.
Settings.
Well, you can change the settings. You can change the color saturation, brightness. You can also blur the background.
Then you get more bokeh.
Something that I haven't just noticed is the colours about the American way. 1 second with the train. It probably won't bug most people, but now I've noticed it. Something that's got to notice every time I use it. We have 2 dials which are very conveniently placed, and they are to change exposure and aperture. This only works on a lens which you can change
Shutter
exposure
speed
and aperture. Yeah, shutter speed. What did you tell me exposure?
I didn't tell you exposure, but shutter speed does change the exposure, so does aperture. So you basically just got 2 dials for exposing properly.
The one exactly right next to your thumb, even next to the little thumb rest, which is very nice, is the dial to change the shutter speed. And then next to the...
Shutter button.
I was going to call it a pressy button, I'm bad with
Again.
Yeah. So right next to the shutter button, also very conveniently placed, is the dial to change the...
The bee flew right by. I don't know if you caught it, but the bee right by.
is to change the aperture, which is kind of useful. I mean, I don't use it as much as I use the shutter speed one, which is why I'm very glad they put shutter speed next to your thumb. I feel like they thought about that.
That feature is more aimed for photographers. Videographers are going to be going straight for the aperture, because you've probably all seen it when you've had a nice video composition and it's like 1/4000th of a shutter speed. It's god awful. Like, you can pause it and see the hairs flying and the spit coming out of their mouths, basically boxing in slow motion. But yeah, I've noticed that it's a lot easier just to crank down what? That's a big bee, I heard it. Where'd it go?
It landed like on this leaf.
Oh, but yeah, I found it a lot more useful to be able to, oh god, that's really dark, to be able to just, oh, that's still dark, still dark. There you go. But essentially, all I did to brighten it up again was go from like 1000 shutter speed now down to 80, and it brightened up instead of changing the aperture. Now I'm on f14 and everything is in focus and it looks bloody awful. They definitely thought about that in terms of photographers.
And just convenience.
Yeah, more than videographers.
But then again, it's a mirrorless camera. Well, yeah, it does shoot 4K, but it's just there. Like, I don't think, you wouldn't use it for videography, in my opinion anyway. I feel like it's just better for photos.
Hang on. I don't know what that is. I thought it was a hiccup in a burp. And neither came out, so carry on.
Right, conveniently placed these 2 little FN, which means function, buttons. So I customized this one to alternate between manual and autofocus, which is extremely useful because otherwise I have to go into the settings and find where manual focus was. It took so long. So yeah, we have the 2 function. I've just hit puberty again.
You can customize them to do
a
anything
lot
you
of
want.
different things, and I forgot how to get to that. Basically, there's a button here right next to the on-off button. You press that, there's a little settings button down there. You press that, and that's where the function buttons come up. But this one just 2x zoom, which is also very annoying, because one thing I have found out about this camera, which is a slight little nitpick that I have, which I'd change if I had the choice, is if you click 2x zoom, and then you forget you click 2x zoom and you turn it off, you know, back on, it's still 2x zoom. So I was shooting, I think, a couple of days ago, and I thought it was really zoomed in. I was like, oh, I quite like that. And then I pressed 2x zoom to zoom in further so that I could see if it was in focus, and it zoomed out, and I was like, ah. That's one thing that if I had the chance, I'd change it so when you turn it off, it resets itself.
Olympus, take notes from 2 teenage photographers.
One more thing that I love about the buttons, and then we'll stop talking about the buttons, because
buttons.
If you take a really nice photo on this little button here which says info, and you click on that, it comes up with the time, the place, and all that.
Normal information about the photo, you know.
Because info.
Self-explanatory for an info button.
Yeah, and you click on the info button again, and it makes the image smaller, brings up the focus point, and it also flashes red where the image is overexposed. I've got a photo here of a photo I took of the setup that we're using, and the sky in the background's really overcast, so it's just white. Now the image is flashing up red because that's where it's overexposed.
There's no detail in the sky.
And it's just useful for when...
Could just show on JPEG. Just saying.
Yeah, you hide. It's useful because you just know what's overexposed, so then when you go to edit in post, you're like, oh, that's overexposed. But you can just check it there. You better still be hiding. It's just easier, like convenience. Like that's what Olympus is very good at. Just everything's very convenient.
Can I come into that out now?
So yeah, we're gonna go find somewhere where it's not raining.
Go on, let's go.
I love your setup.
So do I, you know.
Okay, you're recording?
Yes.
Cool. Well, I wouldn't know because there's no tilty screen. But this is the onboard mic and video quality of my camera. I'm just gonna walk, check I'm in and go out and see how good the zoom is.
Focus.
That one. My glamorous assistant is now gonna move the camera around. That's not very glamorous, you made it so much worse. You could have been glamorous. You could have been in their minds. And it's now going to move the camera around and just show you the stabilization. Also, I was going to just not look at you and talk, but then you wouldn't be able to hear me. I'm going to get really dizzy. I think we should stop going in circles. This is the video quality. Is there anything you would like to say about the video quality? Glamorous assistant?
I nearly fell over, but the camera didn't even see it.
We are also shooting in 4K, because my camera can do that.
No, we're not.
You can shoot in 4K, but it does have a crop factor. Let's go to shooting in 4K.
Magic. Now it's 4K, scaled down to 1080p.
So yeah, now this is 4K. If you keep going around in circles, you're going to make me throw up. So yeah, I don't have much more to say about the video quality. I don't use it too often. You're going to make me sick. Stop moving. Whew. So yeah, stabilization is just as good, if not better, on 4K, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Trying.
Nobody waves back.
Focus did not want to catch up to that. Oh, good lord.
One thing that I do have to say though is that we have no tilty screen, so I have to have a video cameraman because I don't know words, so he's a video cameraman. And he is shooting for me because I can't see if I'm in focus or not. So that's another little nitpicky thing that Olympus need to do. Add a tilty screen and stop the ×2 button doing the ×2 thing. Because when we were shooting B-roll that you just saw, it was on ×2 zoom, wasn't it, babe?
Whoa, that was weird. I shut the camera left and right and it didn't even see that weird stuff. Yeah, the whole camera is just moving.
Yeah, so I was trying to shoot B-roll on 2x zoom. But you'll see my amazing talent at B-roll. Stop moving the camera.
Yeah, but
they
can't
might not be
tell.
able to see it, but I can see it and it's distracting. Well, on our little notes it says that the in-body stabilization is bad for video.
Who wrote that, huh?
You.
Yeah, I wrote that. 100%. That was me. This is what vlogging is like with the Olympus
Oh, I want to come.
OMD E-M10 Mark III.
We can't see what we're doing.
Ow, I was right in my ear. This is 4K, with a particular crop in on the 14 kit lens.
Have we spoke about the Wi-Fi capabilities?
No, we haven't.
Well, we'll quickly do that now before we go.
We're desperate to finish this video. It's taken us
so long.
So we've tried
Like
what?
5 times?
No, genuinely we've tried.
No, we've actually filmed this video in full.
Three times.
This is the 3rd time filming it in full.
First time was at Mincing Lake and your foot fell into the water.
So glad I recorded that.
That's when I called it a photo taking button. The one here, which also has the, I was going to say photo taking button, but I'm quite sure that's not right. So it has the shutter button. I figured out the FM stands for function in that video, but you probably will never see that.
You know what FN actually stands for?
Function. I just guessed that.
The second time, we were up on a hill trying to use a lens, and it really didn't go to plan because somebody can't operate a zoomed in lens.
I don't know how to operate a DSLR camera, pretty much.
So we just scrapped it all and did it again from scratch.
And now you've got this.
And even though it's still messed up, we decided to use it anyway.
Because I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but
We've got a lot of other videos to make.
But one thing I do need to say is that this camera has built-in Wi-Fi.
Most mirrorless cameras do nowadays.
But you know, it's not the built-in Wi-Fi I thought it would be. Like, you can't go on the internet with it or anything. But it's very useful because you just connect your phone to the Wi-Fi and then you transfer your photos across onto the app.
Using the OI share or OM share, whatever it's called. There's an app where you connect it via NFC and transfer all your photos, and it's slow as all hell, and most mirrorless cameras nowadays have that feature. Anyway,
I think it's actually not too bad. It's okay if you're not transferring videos onto your phone, and if you're not doing too many photos. Like I tried to do, like I think I tried to do like 500 once, and it stopped at 99%, and then my phone died and I lost all of them. So yeah, but it's pretty good and it's just useful as well. But you can also connect it via the QR code. But that is just a little bit more annoying because sometimes it doesn't work, and then when you connect it with the QR code, it connects to the Wi-Fi anyway, so you might as well just do it with the Wi-Fi. The one thing, again, but there's nothing you can really do about that, because you're connecting it to Wi-Fi, you can't use your normal Wi-Fi. So if you were planning on like going on Snapchat or doing something, watching YouTube or something, like watching this video whilst you were transferring your photos, it wouldn't happen because you've got no Wi-Fi. You're like dead to the internet. Right, so we just looked up the price of the camera right now because when I bought it, it was a little bit more.
we've had it for a while.
Yeah, we've had it for about, like I said earlier, about 4 months. So at the moment, the all black version is £600 and the black and silver is £630. We don't know why the silver one's more expensive.
That seems to be the case everywhere we go.
Obviously you can get them from second-hand shops.
Although it's brand spanking new.
Yeah,
So
they said that about the iPhone X.
this is, but nobody wanted the iPhone X. Who should buy this camera? Should you buy it?
Wow.
Is it an upgrade? I will admit it's a really, really good travel camera, especially with how fast the, 11 frames per second burst mode. That's phenomenal. How small it is as well.
If you are travelling, you know if you travel that you have to pay for how heavy your suitcase and your bag and stuff is. And if you're lugging around, like your big backpack, right? If you're lugging that around with all your heavy lenses and all your big camera, you're going to have to pay for it. Whereas you chuck this in your handbag, if you're a girl, or your backpack or wherever, you just chuck it in there.
You can stick that in your pocket.
Yeah.
I've done it, especially with these. I can easily stick it in my pocket. I can stick it in here. I've done it before. I can have it up my sleeves if I really wanted to sneak it in somewhere.
What is your final verdict?
Final verdict is if you want to travel places and you only want to have one camera and a good camera as well, image quality conscious like I am, and you don't want to get like crap shots on holiday and you don't want to like use your phone, then this is brilliant. It's a bit pricey, but I think once you've paid the £700, you won't. £600, whatever. Sorry, 630 if you want the silver. It's a one lump sum, and then you can just forget about it. You will always use it if you're traveling. But at the same time, I think if you're upgrading, if you're starting to do good pictures on your phone and you think, hey, I should actually start looking into doing this camera's brilliant.
Yeah, because that is literally what I did it for. I had a horrible phone, bearing in mind. The image quality was absolutely shocking, but I love taking photos. I always have, and I got this.
You want to take the step up to actually get a real camera.
Oh, my phone's over
sorry, closer to a real camera, because DSLRs are real cameras. You also have to take into consideration the 2x crop factor. You can save money and get a lower millimeter lens, if that makes sense. Millimeterage lens, and you can go further with it because of the crop factor. So if you're trying to get like far away shots, then you don't have to go the far away millimeterage like you do with a DSLR or full frame. But at the same time, because it's 2x crop, you can't get the wide shots. You're going to have to get a really wide.
And they get really expensive.
Yeah.
So you're going to save money on the zoom lenses. You're going to have to spend more money.
If you want to go wide, then you're going to have to spend more money.
You know, you've got to take everything into consideration when buying a camera, but that is what you have to do when you buy a camera. You can't just go out and like, oh, I like that camera, buy it, and then come home. I mean, some people probably have the money to do that. Lucky them.
Lucky you. If you have the money to do that and you want to have a mirrorless Olympus camera, get the Olympus E-M10X. I would love to have that camera. That's a sport camera. That's a mirrorless 1DX Mark II, if I'm being honest. But anyway, that's a completely different camera. If you're looking to take the step into photography, and get this camera. And a few lenses.
Yeah.
The 40-150. A lot of times you can buy this as a bundle.
But quite a lot at the moment. Does that make sense? Quite a lot. Like now, there's a bundle going on where if you buy this camera, you get the Olympus 45mm f1.8 lens with it for free,
which is a bargain. So actually, I would spend more money and get that personally. If you do want to get wide angle, if you know you're going to want wide angle shots, and you still did buy this camera, then one, you didn't think that through, and two, there is a brand called 7 Artisans who do a 7.5mm lens just for mirrorless micro four thirds. So I'll have a link to that down below. There'll be links down in the description to buy this camera and those lenses, and even this one, because why not? I gotta fill it up. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll answer them down below. Like, comment, subscribe.
Did you say like, comment? That's a dislike.
Like, comment, subscribe. Desperate to get this video out. We finally got the video out the way.
It's done. I know who that is now.
Somehow got to talking about Brooklyn 99. 99! So yeah, we're gonna go. Like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. And there's so much dead grass. See you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. You have to climb over logs though. If you've been friends with the kids, then I would quite like to leave. It doesn't count, does it?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, what has this world come to?
Oh, you sitting this side?
Yes, I'm sitting this
Okay, you go on this side. I'll go on this side.